Hello. I don't know if anybody can hear me because I'm trying to stream off my phone just to see if it will work. And yeah, so I'm just going to do a chill stream because I'll be honest, I don't have much stuff going for comic-y stuff. Because, oh, sorry about the chair. I was working on this, but then my friend came over, so I sort of had like a mini holiday. If that makes sense. Ooh, I can hear myself. I want to. Okay. I can't have music for now. I was trying to play music off my iPad, and then I realized that I need to watch myself on YouTube so I can see what's going on, and I can have the chat, so I can actually respond to you guys. So what I'm doing right now is that I've printed out my roughs. Hi guys. So these are all the rough pages that I've been working on. So I scanned them into Photoshop and then I printed them out, and now I'm just going over them with tracing paper and doing rough lines. So this is this page, and it's going to look like this basically. These are the rough lines. So what I'm going to do is just pencil all these out, and then I'll go over it again and see any mistakes within the line work. And then on top of that, I will do my inks and then colour and stuff. I'm still not sure what kind of process I'm going to do. Ooh, there goes a pen. For the style, but I really like this pencil style mixed with Copic markers. So I'm probably going to do something like that. I don't know if you can see. I'm sorry if the quality is bad. Hi guys, can you hear me okay? Because I'm using my iPhone, so maybe I'm just really quiet. And yeah, here, these are these rough pages that I scanned in. I'm still trying to work out the style a little bit, but I think I'm just going to go ahead with the rough pencils and get on with it, basically. Because I've got a lot to do, and I was kind of, you know, taking a break, so I need to just... Ooh, I keep dropping pens. That's really, really good. Yeah. Hello, everybody. I love your progress on this. Can't wait to see what you do. Thank you very much. I'm good, thank you. The Zator. Just it's morning now, and I've got my coffee. And I was planning to put a video up, but then I was just like, what if I just stream and use my phone? Because I've never streamed with my phone. So I was like, maybe it'll work. I'm sorry about this. You can see all this action. It's not very professional, but it's what all I can do for now. I'm going to just move on to the next page, penciling. I'm just doing this very basically with tracing paper because I do want to use tracing paper in the process. So I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll pencil out all of her and the guy, the main characters, and then just I'll see if I need to cut that out and then redo the pencils again on a plain paper. It's a very convoluted process, but yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do because it's such a stylized thing. It's very a weird style anyway, so I need to just figure out the process is going to be for creating it. So how's everybody doing? Is it really early morning for you? Pesto's just like plucking my sofa. Pesto's my cat, and she decides now. Yeah, so I'm just going to go over these lines. Don't know how well you can see that, but I hope it's okay. Oh, hey Dina. I just decided to do like a chill kind of stream. I wanted to put music on. Hang on, but I cannot. I cannot right now. I need to figure it all out. It's all a process. Because I said I would do a video for today, but then I just didn't have any footage because I've sort of been taking a break for the last few days because my friend's been out, so we went out on a tapas run and did like different Stiff. Great, thanks. Thanks, Mouth. We did different stuff in Gibraltar. We drove up the rock with a car. You guys don't know I'm from Gibraltar, which is a ex-military base. Well, it's still a military base, but it's a British overseas territory. And yeah, the Rock of Gibraltar. Look it up if you don't know about it, because it's pretty cool. And that's about it. And we went up there and we found like this old gun station, and we were just walking around it and like climbing on top, like being the, you know, those idiot tourists that you hear about online. And we were just like really nice views, and it was really fun. She's gone now though, she just left, so I thought I would do a little stream because I didn't have any footage. That makes sense. I hope you can hear me. Yeah, I want to put music, but I have to watch myself on the iPad. I might get my laptop and play some music. I didn't really plan this very well because it was kind of an impulse decision to just stream, because I think I'm a bit scared of streaming, but then I was like, just do it. Just do it. Maybe you can play your own song in the background. Thanks. Thanks for saying my voice is relaxing. I always really like watching YouTubers who are very chill, so that's nice. And yeah, I'm sort of doing these pencils over the top, but a bit rough, because I decided that I want the line quality of the comic to be a little bit all over the place, and because I think that's kind of disorientating and might be, you know, unnerving in a sense. I don't know. I'm as I said, I'm still sort of working on the style, which I should kind of have down, since as I'm trying to do rough pencils now. For this panel, I did the door here, so I'm going to copy that door. Don't know if it's big enough, but we're going to try it anyway. How's everybody doing today? Oh, going to sleep. Hi Zen. I know it's a weird one with different time zones, because I think most of my audience is in America. So obviously this is quite early for them, most people in America, so I'm sorry about that. But if you're catching this after I've done the stream, then I'm sorry, but maybe you can just use this instead of a video if that's what you like watching. So I think this would be a pretty similar vibe to my horror comic vlogs anyway, just slower artwork. I can't edit like speeding up the footage or anything. Wonderful says, are you still going with a slightly smudged look with black and minimal colours? It would look super fitting when you showed it in the video. Oh, it looks super fitting. I think so. I think I'm going to start out with maybe brighter colours, and then as the story goes on, mute the colours a little bit more, and then towards the end I'm going to have it a bit more abstracty but still kind of readable, hopefully. And yeah, so it's all a process really, because you kind of need to figure out one thing before you can do another. So I'm trying to just push through what I can do for now, and then, because as I said, I'm trying to do this comic for in a month, but obviously that's not going to happen because I think a month is next week. Hey Kate. Yeah, so I'll just do a little recap of the style in case anybody hasn't seen it. But this is the kind of style that I really liked. Just very minimal color palette, and then maybe pencils on top for some texture. And I really like that style with the tracing paper and stuff, so I'm still looking into that, but I don't know how feasible it will be. It's really good for creating depth within the piece, but I still need to explore it a little bit further. And yeah, I really like this style of just pinks and blues. I think it's a very odd colour palette to choose for for a horror comic, but whatever. I like it, so I'm gonna do it. The stream is lagging too much for my internet. Is it me or is it your internet? I hope not. Thanks, wonderful, for dropping by anyway. Simple is good. That's right. I think so too. Yeah. I hope is the stream okay for everybody else? Because it's the first time I'm using my phone, so I'm sorry if it's not quite good enough. Oh no. It's very annoying. I hope it's not lagging for everyone. Morning, Jeff. The sound works. Okay, well, that's something, right? Totally frozen. Typical. Yeah, I don't know how feasible streaming off my phone is because it's a bit old. But I wanted to give it a shot because obviously I can do traditional work because I don't have a camera that can stream my traditional stuff. So I have to kind of maybe look for one. It's just frozen on your hand for 10 years. Oh dear. Maybe if I refresh, if you guys all refresh, will it work if you refresh the page? Oh dear. Okay, well, is it working now? Yes, Dino did get a pop-up message. You were correct. That was why. That's really annoying. Okay, now it's working. You can see my elaborate setup here. I've got this mini easel, and then my rig. What am I on about? Okay, so hopefully that's better. Sorry about that, guys. I couldn't screen, so. But Dina was correct. I have a very steady hand. That's right. Oh, it's so blurry. I hope it clears up a bit now that it's still. Ooh. Oh, it's making me feel a bit. Watch back. I feel a bit sick. Sorry, guys. Oh, that was I thought I was like. I would have to stop streaming then. I'm glad no. Yes, the setup is amazing, right? It took me 10 minutes. Such a professional setup. That's what you come to expect, right, guys, from my channel? Gosh. Thank you for coming to the stream and watching my videos. Yeah, it's working. Hey, everybody, if I missed saying hi to you. We had a little bit of a meltdown, but it's all fine now. So yeah, this is the morning chill stream. What's everybody up to? I'm really interested. Are you all either going to bed or waking up? Obviously you won't be asleep because how would you? How can you have so steady hands though? When I draw, my hands shake so bad. Oh, it's all in the elbow. Gotta lock your whole arm, I've heard, but I find that really difficult as well. My boyfriend's going, WhatsApp. I can't right now. My phone is busy filming. Yeah. So yeah, I had my friend over and I had a couple of days by the pool and just chilling out. And I think space and breaks give you time to reflect on stuff as well when you're doing creative work. So I thought, you know what, let's do this. Let's go all in and just have a mini break for a few days. But now obviously I've got lots of work to catch up on. Somebody said, Bonnie says, working now. Oh, the stream's working now. You're not working now. Maybe you are working now, but yeah. Dina is colouring pages. You are so on it, Dina. I'm like still lagging behind with these final pencils. Because me and Dina, Dina's obviously working on her book, her children's book, and I'm working on this comic, but we're sort of doing it similar times, so we've been talking, chatting, helping each other out, but mine is slow progress. Is it frozen again? Oh, it seems okay for me. Maybe my hand was just still. Oh, thanks, Dina. That's a really nice compliment. Compliment. I think because I was working on my slice of life comic for just a year, that when it came to me wanting to do a different comic, I was like, I really want to do something different. So I think I've been craving like this style exploration a little bit. Random person says, do you do digital art too? Um, Not really. I would say like I'm really competent in Photoshop because I used to be a graphic designer, so I know like my way around Photoshop and stuff. And I do like, sorry about the cars. Go away, car. Okay, I do like doing digital painting and stuff, but I'm not very epic at it. Not very good at it anyway. Oh, that's weird. Meshiana? Maybe you can refresh the page. I don't know. All the miracle of refreshing the page is going to fix everything. Sorry about the car. There's just a car outside deciding to just reverse here for some reason. Okay, so that was bigger than I needed it to be. Damn it. I'll do this and then I can fix it later. Okay, I'll just rub this out. I really like working on this as well with and showing everybody the process because everyone always has a lot of good feedback to give me, which is really helpful. And like telling me what they like and things, so it's really useful because I feel like you guys are my audience and you're the type of audience who would read my work. So knowing what you guys like is really useful. This is all over the place now. Yeah, rub that out. I am just using this mechanical pencil. It doesn't have a brand, so, but it's kind of a sturdy mechanical pencil. It's nothing, I don't think it's anything special. I never liked using mechanical pencils. I was always a like 5B kind of person, and I didn't like. But now I've gotten really into it for some reason. Over the past year or so, I was like, actually, this feels very nice. Quite nice to use it. I'm also drinking coffee. Is anybody else drinking some beverages? That's my thing to talk about now. I love the stickers on your sketchbook. Ah, thanks. Yeah, I got them from a Comic-Con, Gibraltar Comic-Con I went to recently, and I don't have the name of the artists here. I had their business cards, but these are the same artists and these are the same, and I really like them. The person who made these definitely mega undersold because I think she sold them for like £1 for both of them or something like something really cheap, and then her printing costs were really expensive. I was like, no, don't do this. And she was like, well, I wouldn't sell them otherwise. I'm like, okay, next time try and print them cheaper. I don't know. It was really, she's a really good artist, so it was a shame to see her having to undersell herself, kind of thing. Oh, iced coffee, nice. Oh, I should have made this an iced coffee because it is boiling here. If you're in the UK, it is hot. I forgot about my coffee and now it's cold. Just add some ice to it. Problem solved. Probably gonna have to rub this completely out and put it over. Though I think I am gonna be cutting all these bits out, so I think it's fine as long as they're not touching, the panel's not touching. Who likes tea instead of coffee? I think a lot of people, really. I think that's fair enough. Coffee's pretty heavy. I didn't like coffee for years, and then in university we had this Erasmus scheme, which is basically something to do with the EU when you go over and you do like projects with people from other schools in other countries within the EU, and we went to Sardinia. And I remember it was just like the end of my degree that we went. So we just finished our like final projects the week before, and then we were off to Sardinia, a few of us from my course. And it was so tiring because the hotel that the apartments that we stayed in was about half an hour walk from the actual university. So every day we'd walk about an hour, but we'd have to work really late because we all had these campaign projects, these animations to do within a team. But we had to finish it by the end of the week. So we were all just late nights, and then everybody wanted to go out drinking and stuff because obviously that's the whole point. Not the whole point, but the whole point was to meet other people from other schools and countries and collaborate and things. So it was exhausting. So I was like, I'm going to try coffee because I'm tired. And I basically forced myself to drink this coffee, and I hated it. But I was like, it's helping me. So I can't, that's when the addiction began. On your third cup of mocha right now. Wow. Tea is more your thing. Yeah, I like green tea and fruity teas. I'm not a huge fan of normal tea, which is surprising because I'm English, so apparently we all love tea. I'm very quiet. My friend just left. Yeah, she was coming. She stayed since Monday to right now, which is, if you're confused of the time zones, it's midday for me Friday. So we're just hanging out. It was really fun. We did a tapas crawl, which is basically when in Spain you go to a bar and you have like one tapa of food, like a little dish of something, whatever you prefer, and then you have like one drink, and then you go to the next restaurant place and you have one thing and you all share, and it's really fun. But it was a lot of alcohol and a lot of food, so I wasn't feeling very well the next day. But it was great. 10 out of 10 would do again. I've got some friends coming over in September, so I'm hoping to take them on a tapas run. Eh, Dina? Eh? You like most tea, is just not black currant. Ooh, okay. Have I read Harry Potter? Yes, I love Harry Potter. I am a Hufflepuff. And I remember years ago telling all my friends at uni that I was a Hufflepuff, and everyone laughed, but now it's cool to be a Hufflepuff. And I was like, yeah, I'm loyal. And I work hard. Take that. Yeah, you're also Hufflepuff. I think a lot of people are Hufflepuff these days. Like, we were all too scared of the backlash we'd get when we were younger to admit that we're Hufflepuff, and now it's like, yeah, we're Hufflepuff. Hufflepuffs unite. Boring Gryffindor. I don't think that's boring. That's like the main house, really. It's the main, I mean, the main character's house, so it's kind of, you know. I'm Ravenclaw. That's pretty cool. I always thought, you know, Ravenclaw was so cool because you have to be intelligent. And I was like, I'm not really intelligent, so I'm not Ravenclaw, but I wish I was. I don't know where my tracing paper is. Oh, it's here. I'm going to do the next page. I'm so glad that I finished all the roughs. I felt like they were taking such a long time. Oh, I didn't really show you guys this very well. Yeah, that's the final rough pencils. I'm going to move this over though. But it shows me like how it will look. I'm going to do it smaller than A4. This is A4 right now, so I'm going to shrink it down. But obviously working larger to smaller is good because it makes the picture crisper. I hope that makes sense. I'm obviously going to scan these in and do some digital stuff to them afterwards. This page is done. Need another one. I hate this page because I really don't like the way she looks here, or he looks cool, but I don't like this design, so I think I'm just going to draw her, redraw her, go over the top. I'm Slytherin. Ooh, I like Slytherins though. I tend to be friends with Slytherins. If that makes sense. Like, a lot of my friends are Slytherins, so I'm like, yeah, you're cool. Like, everyone's cool. If you read Harry Potter, you're cool in my book, so it's fine. Oh, chai tea is a brand of tea. I get ya. Oh, this one. You like that panel? Sorry if I'm like shaking the table and stuff. I'm not used to. I'm used to being able to edit my videos, so this is me unedited, guys. Slytherin. How's it going, Connie, anyway? How are you? How's everybody? Random person says, I have a Slytherin friend. We get along, but we also don't. I get ya. I think good friends are the ones that you kind of can argue with and then be best friends with. That's when you're most comfortable, right? I think she looks better now. Let me show you. Can't really see it through. Oh, you can just see my forehead. That's very nice, isn't it? Waiting for watercolor to dry. That's pretty cool. That's another thing that I realized, that I like watercolor and I'm not using any watercolor on here, which I think is kind of a shame. So I might explore using that somehow. But yeah, maybe I just have to let that go for this one and do like watercolor painting or something another time. Connie, I love the curve of her jaw. Can't explain it. It just hit me. It's going quite weird. A house caught fire yesterday and it was so close. Ooh, that's scary. Yeah, we had because it's obviously gets really hot here in the summer. I live by the south of Spain kind of thing, and there was a massive forest fire not yesterday, not yesterday, 2 years ago, right next to our house, and we all had to evacuate the area, and it was really scary. It was pretty awful, but like 2 years later, you go and look at the place, it's right next to us, and everything's grown back, and it just shows you how resilient nature can be. Because it looks like, oh, this is never gonna grow back, it's all burnt. Like, it was for miles to the next sort of town. It was all the trees were just ash and black chalk. Chalk, what do I mean? Coal, like coal. Do I mean coal? What the heck do I mean? Someone help me out. Anyway, it was all just, you know, burnt up and it was really, really crazy. Now it's all fine again. So that's, yeah, that's scary though, especially next to your house. So I've been there. I remember we had to come home early from work because I was working at the time because we saw that this massive forest fire was next to our like our area of living. And I remember coming home and my boyfriend just started playing the PlayStation. And I kept being like, "What are you doing? We have to go." And looking out on the balcony at the fire, and it was still pretty far away, but still close enough to be unnerving. And he's just sitting there playing a game. And I remember getting my suitcase out and just picking up my makeup bag and putting it in the suitcase and being like, uh, really confused what to pack. And then just, we didn't need to pack anything. We didn't need to evacuate properly, so it was fine. But I was still absolutely terrified. Hi, Marie. Oh, you love my sketchbook tours. Thank you. Well, when I finish more sketchbooks, I think I'll do another halfway one for this. But I think a lot of people probably already have seen a lot of the pages from the horror comic stuff. My ready to flee bag was makeup. Really good job. Like, it was at that moment that I realized maybe I should stop wearing so much makeup. Chill out a bit. Fire is good for nature. It makes everything grow, which is strange when you think about it. Yeah, it's true. I realized I heard that there was these trees that in this area that don't burn. So, or when they do burn, they like release all their seeds and then they just regrow, and it's really good for that type of plant, which is really strange, isn't it? Hi everyone. Which brand of fine liners do you recommend? Well, I'm not really a huge fan of fine liners, but I tried these micron pens that obviously people have been using because they work with watercolor. They don't smudge or anything, and I was like, "What? That's amazing!" So, yeah, I'm using these micron Pigma. Are they Pigma micron pens? Those are really good. So check those out if you can. And yeah, who's asked something? Sorry if this has already been asked, but you had a book on the recent. Oh yeah, Making Comics by Scott McCloud. I know somebody already. Oh no, I just dropped pens everywhere. Doesn't matter. Making Comics by Scott McCloud. It's such a good book, honestly. It just, as well, it says stuff that you don't even, I hadn't even considered before. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. Definitely, if you want to get into comics, give it a go. It's not gonna hurt you anyway. It's just gonna take time to read it. I don't think I've ever read it from the whole way through, which is a shame because I should. And he's such a good artist as well, but I just use it every now as reference. If I'm stuck on something, then I'll look it up, and it really helps me out. Mm-mm-mm-mm. I didn't expect to wake up to a stream. Nice surprise. Hello. Hi, Issa. I would be fleeing, but I would be looking fabulous. That's true. And what else? Oh, what are my favorite art channels? Well, obviously, Casey Golden, Dina Norland, and Xanthi, and they're all on my main page. And oh, and Color Hulk Creations, they're all on my page as a list of friends. If you want to check out their channels as well, you probably know them all anyway. Soil next to volcanoes are very rich. That's interesting. So all how nature works, really, isn't it? Like the phoenix from the ashes kind of thing. Ooh. Maybe that's why Phoenix exists. I mean, the myth, the lore of it. Just rambling nonsense now, aren't I? Classic stuff. One time in high school, I made a manga for a group project and I did illustrations. My hand hurt so bad afterwards and the manga was horrible. No, I'm sure it wasn't that bad. I remember when I was probably in middle school, when I was probably about 11 or 10, we had this project to do a story and they said we could do comics as well. And I was like, I'm definitely doing a comic. And I wish I had kept it or my parents had kept it, but I'm pretty sure it was about me being a superhero, which is hilarious. And I remember just being like, ugh, this is hard. I'm never doing this again. But here I am, how many years later, trying to make it my career. Have I watched Doodle Date? Yes, I love Doodle Date. They're really nice and cool, and I like their stuff. Do I know Pick Candle? I don't know them. I know Jake Parker. I think I know Vex. Yeah, there's a lot of artists now on YouTube. I like particularly like illustratory style of people who do sort of vloggy stuff as well. And I like people who do challenges as well. I think that's quite fun. Obviously, I hope that my channel kind of reflects that. I like doing what I've seen other people create. Usually when we have projects like that, I like writing a poem. Is that because you like writing poems, or do you think that's like easier? I don't know. Obviously, poems are not easy. I'm not saying that. I just insult you completely. Don't mean it like that. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but you say, I love watching your videos while I draw. Thank you. That's so cool to hear. Hopefully you're drawing right now if you're not, waking up or going to bed or whatever. I've always wanted to get into poems, because I obviously love storytelling and all different forms of like narrative dialogue. Do I mean like narrative things and words and stuff? So I always was thinking I should be into poems, and I just never could get into it. I always think I was just not smart enough, I guess, to understand them or convey what I was feeling well enough to it not just being like silliness from me anyway. Other people are very impressive. In Gibraltar, we have people doing poetry slams and stuff, and I think that's just like amazing. I can't imagine, because I feel like if you write a poem, you're kind of burying your soul a little bit. So then reading your work out to a group of people is very, very scary to me. Issa says, "Oh, I find writing poems both easy and fun. I'm good at them." Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, I think the streams are always a bit. I always find that people's streams are always a bit delayed from the chat, so I'm sorry if I'm answering it a bit late. But hopefully you don't mind me just rambling on in between your answers. Piles of paint. Oh, that's great. You woke up to me. Yay. Hope that's okay. Oh, formal petition for this to be a regular thing. Yeah, I want to make streams a regular thing. I hope my phone is good enough, but I don't know if it is. Art can be soul bearing. Yes, yes, it can. But I think poetry is very specific to being your emotions on a page, whereas art you can kind of hide behind it a bit. You can be like, oh, this is this character. Yeah, they do this. Like you're not really like, this is me. I don't know, but it can be. Of course, it can be. I just think poems are very that specific style. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know much about poetry, so I'm probably talking absolute garbage. Garbage, guys. I am a spider who makes webs on walls. I am a spider who can make you fall. I am a spider super strength and all, but I am a spider who's very small. That's cute. I like that. Spiders eat flies as well, so well, don't kill them. Let them, especially mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are the scourge of society, so if you have some spiders in your room, then that can only be good for you, and they'll leave you alone if you leave them alone. Unless you have like a tarantula in your room, then obviously get them out because they'll do you harm. I still need to do kind of a drawing of this lighthouse, like her rooms and stuff, to just get a definitive style of how it will look down. And I realized I needed to do that as I was doing my rough layouts, and now I realized that I never did it. So I'll have to go back and explore that. But I really like kind of the wobbly aspect of the backgrounds. I think that would work. I have to go to work here in Argentina at 7 a.m. or yeah, I'll leave the stream up. I probably will, unless I say, you know, or do something really embarrassing. But bye. Thanks for stopping by. There are poems that are quite literal and you need to look very deep into them to find what the author wants you to find. Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of thing that stops me, because I'm like, what do they mean? And I hope I've understood that and it hasn't gone over my head. Ooh, my cats are fighting. Wouldn't be a Steph video without the cats having a little cat war, would it? There's a poem about rain and clouds with like the words per second. Per sentence. Oh, do you mean like a haiku? Is that a thing, or a limerick? Different types of poems, aren't they? I can never get it. Very quiet. It's a very chill morning over here. Just birds singing, sun is up, sky is blue. Oh, it feels like some random words thrown around in an attempt to sound deep. Yeah, it can be. I think some people, yeah, it can be pretentious for some people, but some people really mean it, and I guess they have a greater understanding of what they're trying to divulge to us, the audience, I guess. Or maybe it is, you know, just for them. They don't care if you get it or not, kind of thing. Morning, Gio Butler. Sorry if I'm butchering your names. I think that is the hardest task of a YouTuber, is not butchering anyone's names. Oh no, there's a fly here and Kubo has set his sights on it. Kubo, don't jump up here, please. Dina says, oh my god, I just had a chat with my dad and he got an original A3 Disney animation sketch for his birthday from a friend. That's amazing! Oh, that's so cool. Imagine having that just in your house and framing it. That would be so nice. Issa, but since it's by a famous author, there must be a reason for it. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I always think that, oh, if I've read some, you know, if a publisher has published this, there must be a reason for it, even if I don't understand it. So that's where I limit myself with the poemy stuff, because I'm like, I'm obviously not smart enough for this. I'm not impressed. But yeah, I don't understand this, so fine. No, Dina. No. Remember that guy on your stream, Dina, who said, or girl, I can't remember, who said their nickname came from them. People just say he just said no all the time to them, so they just called him No. I thought that was a really funny story. Kind of stuck with me. Oh, a Glenn Keane sketch would be amazing. Even Claire, is it Claire Keane? His daughter is such a good artist. I don't know if you've seen her stuff, but she does amazing concept stuff. And she did such great work on Tangled. And yeah, it's great. I have that art book here. Oh, I have it right here, right next to me. What are the chances? So let's look at it. Yeah, let me find some stuff by her. No, I won't find anything by her. It'd be typical. I think she did this. But she's amazing. Like, can you imagine your dad being Glenn Keane, though? Like, the ultimate. This is Glenn Keane. These are all Glenn Keane. He's amazing. If anybody doesn't know who he is like basically the king of animation. He animated Tarzan and the Beast, and Beauty and the Beast and stuff. And oh, here she is, Claire Keane. And I love, love, love her stuff. She's kind of a rough artist like me, but much, much better. She does painterly stuff as well, I think. Yeah. Oh, and Mary Blair, she was a very big influence on Sleeping Beauty, and I absolutely adore her stuff as well. I think it's very interesting that she was kind of a lead artist at the time. That's Claire Keane. At the time where there wasn't many women working in Disney animation, so yeah, pretty interesting. I love stuff like that. I'm glad I have that art book that I look at rarely. Glen Keane is amazing. Like, he's the king, isn't he? Yeah, Claire Keane's very nice. Like, her colours, everything. Actually almost cried when Glenn was talking about how he puts his wife and daughter in them. Oh, yes. He puts them in the animations, and oh, yeah, that's so cute, isn't it? Oh, what was it when... Have you ever seen the animation? I think it's called Finding Sleeping Beauty. And it's all a documentary about the animators and at Disney and stuff. And is it called Finding Sleeping Beauty? You might know. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it's such an amazing documentary, and it's so sad. And it just shows you like all the talent that's behind all these movies that we love. And oof, amazing. It's funny how artists have so many books about art. Yeah, I think because we just want to be inspired. I think inspiration is something that you need to keep topping up. If you get what I mean, like, we kind of need to keep the momentum of a project going. You need to get re-inspired by other artists. For sure. Especially amazing ones, you know what I mean? Like, it's something to aim for. You can only but dream. You have 0 books about art. Oh. I remember going through a real phase when because I studied animation in university. I went through a massive phase of just wanting all the art books that I could get my hands on. And there was, what's it called, that movie? Kung Fu Panda. They had the most amazing art of book for that, and like different character designs and facial expressions and stuff, turnarounds and stuff. And my friend had it because she had shelves wall to wall of all these art books, and she was my housemate, so I could look at it anytime I wanted. And I remember at one point, because it was out of print, it was up for sale for about £1,000 because it was so good. And I don't know if they did I think they recently did a reprint of it, but that was one of those books that was just like, I wish I had bought that so I could scan it and then just sell it for a lot of money. Yeah. At the time when you're a student, you're like, £100, that's so much money. To be honest, I'm still a little bit like that. The studio, any recommendations? The Studio Ghibli art books are really good. Some of them do fall a little flat. They feel a little bit. I mean, art of books, they feel a little bit like they're an afterthought. But the Tangled one is really good because I just think the art for that is so stunning. But if you ever want to get an art book and you're not sure which one to get, then just look up online the art of, and then whatever movie you like, and you can probably see all the artwork on Google, so you can decide if that's the type of book that you want. Because I think some of them can be a bit of a disappointment. I've got one that is Disney animation vaults, and it was just like cell drawings of lots of work, but there wasn't much description or reasoning. It was just like, look at these drawings, that they are artwork, but I don't think I would look at them very often for, inspiration. Brave is really cool. Oh, I haven't got the Brave book. Ooh, Dina's getting breakfast. I'm not judging you for not getting breakfast because I don't really eat breakfast. I eat it rarely. I just have coffee, which is really bad for you, I know. But I don't like eating in the morning. If somebody was to give me food, I probably wouldn't let it, I wouldn't deny them, but yeah. Recently discovered that there's this takeaway next to where I live, but it actually does a really nice Spanish breakfast, which is tostada and tomatoes. Tomatoes. And it's so good from there, and I didn't realize just this like greasy takeaway place because we went to go to this cafe that's near and it was shut, so we were like, oh, let's just go to the takeaway, see what they have, like maybe they have toast and coffee and stuff. And it was so good. Like in Spain, it's basically bread, then you put olive oil, and then they have these blended tomatoes. It doesn't sound very nice, but it's delicious. But it's cold, like icy cold tomatoes, and you put them on and a bit of salt, and it tastes so good. It's very nice, and it fills you up. Connie, I accidentally had two breakfasts. What do you mean, second breakfast and 11sies? That's fine. That's one reason why you shouldn't eat right after you wake up, aside from the nausea. Oof, yes, nauseous times. I get a bit nauseous, I remember. But then you do get past that if you start eating again in the morning. So I'm just too lazy. Sometimes I forget that I need to eat lunch as well. Well, no, I don't forget. I'm like, oh yeah, it's late. I should eat lunch now. I kind of don't think about it. This guy's hands are really weird. I'll fix them later. I just got a cold, so I don't have to go. So I really hope I don't have to go to the gym. Or is somebody forcing you to go to the gym? Don't go to the gym if you don't want to go. Yeah, the cold tomatoes. I'm really craving it now that I've said it. And it's so cheap. It's like, because I ordered a coffee, and then you get like two bits of bread and the tomato and the olive oil and everything for like €3. Or €4 for everything, which is probably about £3 or $2 or something. So it's really great. Cold tomatoes sounds strange. It's like they blend the tomatoes up. Well, I think they take the skins off and they blend them up, so it's kind of like gazpacho but thicker, and then you just put it on your toast, so it's like a spread, but it tastes so good. It sounds gross if you've never had it before. It's you're probably like, yeah, whatever. Sounds disgusting. What's going on? It's delicious. You gotta try it if you ever go to Spain. Tostada, which is toast. You guys can remember that one. Yeah, it's a little bit like bruschetta, a little bit. The toast is warm and tomato cold, and you have the olive oil underneath and salt, and everything just works. And if you ever try to make it yourself, it just doesn't taste as good. Because I've tried a couple of times, just like, how did they make this? And I've had a few friends that have come over and they have that, and they would make that like their staple breakfast. And then they move to London or something, and they can't get it there like authentically the same. And then they would try to make it, and it just doesn't. They said that it just doesn't taste the same. Like it's not as good. Maybe it's the whole thing of somebody making food for you is always better though, isn't it? Oh, I'm not forced to, but I already skipped Monday and Tuesday. I was traveling and I feel bad for not going. Fair enough then. Yeah, but I can understand that. Me and Chris have recently taken to doing lots of walking because I just think it's really good for me to get out the house and stuff. But since my friend has been here, we haven't walked much because she has a bit of a bad knee, so she can't walk very fast. So we kind of stopped doing that. But today I think we're probably going to go for a long walk. It's so hot here though, so it's very tiring. Ooh, they grate tomatoes and sometimes rub garlic on the bread. Yes, similar. I haven't had it with garlic, but maybe it's more of an Andalusian thing to have it just without the garlic and more olive oil. I was in Hawaii once and we never ate breakfast for the week. How come? I want to go to Hawaii so much. You guys seen Terrace House when they're in Hawaii and it's like, looks so good. Just looks so nice there. Everything like, you know, dream holiday, isn't it? Although I think because it's summer now, I'm a bit more into going a cold place for a holiday. Once you've had summer for a little bit, you kind of get sick of that heat, don't you? Oops, her nose is wrong. You live in Andalusia as well? Are you Spanish? Oh, I know what you mean when they rub the cloves on the bread like that, right? Yeah, I've seen that. I never had that though. Terrace House is amazing. It's so good. Shamefully, I'm watching Love Island, which is kind of it's a UK show, a little bit like Big Brother, but they put these couples into his house in the sense that they have to couple up with each other, and it's very trashy. So it's kind of like a horrible version of it's like a horrible version of Terrace House. Terrace House is like a nice version of it, where everybody is a nice person and they make you want to be nice people. I think I still have the season when they're in the countryside. I still have that to watch. And I don't know why, because I was really excited about it. So I was like, I can't wait. And do you guys ever have that thing where you're looking forward to something so much that when it actually arrives, you're like, oh, you kind of put off watching it or reading it or whatever. Because you don't want it to be over, I guess. But I should just watch it, shouldn't I? Yes. Yes. Okay, so this is like the basic lines for the characters, and then I'm going to work on the backgrounds separately because I think I'm going to cut out the tracing paper bits. Ooh, I didn't do her mouth. Oh my gosh. Let's see, I can do her mouth without having to look at this, right? This is so funny. He looks so small. His face is a bit too small there. Tiny round head. You've been here for 35 years. That's good. It's nice here. That was probably out of context for everybody else. I'm speaking to Fiona, who says, oh, just down the coast from me. She lives down the coast from me and has lived in Spain for 35 years. So you know more than me, probably. They probably add some spices though. I hurt my knee doing a split, it still hurts. Ouch. I hope you get better. That's the worst. Hurting yourself and not being able to get on with everyday life. I'm old. No, you're not. No one is old. No one is old, you hear me? That was silly, wasn't it? So yeah, these are the 3 pages that I've done so far. The first one, I'll show you properly. I need to do him because I think I'm still really unsure on his character. So that's the first page. Obviously, these are just final pencils for their faces and stuff because I'm going to cut it out and then do the backgrounds. I'm repeating myself in case anybody missed it. And that's the second page. I need to move that over. But as I said, I'm going to cut this stuff out, so it should be fine. And then that's the one I just did. And I need to work out the background for the lighthouse because it didn't look so good. Well, I didn't like it as much as I thought I would before, so I need to work on more backgroundy stuff. Tina says, I need a t-shirt that says that. Says what? I missed something. Oh, that I'm old? Oof. Your legs are purple. Ouch. Be careful, everybody. Please. Hello from Antigua. Oh, sorry. I said that and then realised you're being a bit rude. Was mean. Don't be mean to me. I'm just a little baby channel. I might miss some people's stuff because I'm busy working on drawing and that. I don't know how to make somebody a moderator. I'll figure it out later. I forgive you, Karina. It's fine. Just remember, I'm a person too. Just trying my best. This is the next page. I think this is one of my favourite pages because there's so much back and forth dialogue between the two characters and you get a good sense of her. I think it establishes her really well. I'm sorry about the cars outside again. Somebody is just deciding to reverse up and down near where I am. I guess pole dancing, yeah, you probably get a lot of bruises doing that. As long as you're okay with it. You know, you do you. Ooh, I only get bruises sometimes when I hit myself with weights. Ouch. I have a question now. Was Sherlock popular in the UK? The BBC one, yes, very popular. I really like that show as well. It's very good. I'm not sure about the trope of, oh, he's a genius, he must be an asshole kind of, you know what I mean? Like, they're doing that a lot now. But I think he was sort of one of the first ones, except for House. It's a similar dynamic, isn't it, to him and House? I'm a genius, so I must be an asshole. But I still like that. I really like that trope, so I'm not going to complain. We like our main characters with a bit of bite, don't we? It's getting late here in Australia, so I have to go. Oh, thank you for coming by. Good night. Sleep well. So strange chatting to people who, for me, because it's morning and they're like, oh, it's late here, and obviously time zones are a hard thing to grasp, but not really. Really love the last panel on this page. Her eyes show so much emotion. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think this is when you kind of get a sense that she's a very nervous person. I hope, anyway. I used to play volleyball and I quit because I kept getting hit by the ball more often than you hit it. Oh no. I am not very good at sports, so I completely understand you. I'm a very good swimmer though. That was my time to shine. Remember in PE we'd go swimming classes and I just completely destroyed everybody else. Like beat them in the races and stuff, and then suddenly had everyone's respect for like a day. But then it was gone again when we tried to play any ball kind of games. Do we know why she's moving into the lighthouse? Not really. I think I I haven't said it in the story, but obviously she's just looking for a place, and then there's this guy who is showing her somewhere that she wants to live, and she kind of gets surprised by it. She doesn't know it's going to be a lighthouse, but then I think she likes it, so she decides that she's going to take it. And I did have it originally that, oh, she couldn't afford anything else, but then I realized that doesn't make any sense because a lighthouse would be quite expensive. So I realized that I wanted to make her be a bit richer than I had originally planned. So now she falls in love with the lighthouse a little bit, even though it's scary to her. And I feel this isn't really said in the story, but for me, knowing her backstory and who she is, I feel like she moved there to prove that she could do it to herself because it is a bit of a creepy place to live. But she's like, no, I have to get over my anxieties and, live my life and stuff. So I hope that comes across within the story. Obviously, I can't say it all within the short story, but me knowing her backstory is kind of helping me write along what's going to happen to her and stuff. I'm obviously talking about the story of this comic I'm doing in case anybody's confused. don't want you to be confused. Yes. It's been really fun working on this though. I've honestly been, it sounds really horrible, but I've been pretty impressed with myself for how far I've come from it, because I was so intimidated. I was like, what am I doing? This is a bad idea. This is not gonna work. I don't know how to do a horror comic, even though I've always wanted to do something within the horror genre, because I really like horror stories, horror films. So yeah, but it's been great. Maybe after this I can do more and stuff and improve, because obviously this isn't going to be the perfect project by any means, but I think we learn in doing. So any mistakes I make on this one, hopefully I can improve on in the next comic that I do or story that I write. Hello, yeah, Dust. Hope I said your name right. Ooh, 7:37 a.m. for me, so I have a whole day in front of me. You do, Issa. Oh yeah, Round the Twist. Maybe she's a fan of Round the Twist. Maybe she is. I remember that show. That was a really weird show, wasn't it? Oh, you just made me remember that. And all the weird, like, was it like paranormal or was it just like magical stuff would happen in this show called Round the Twist? In case you don't know what I'm on about, Round the Twist was this old kids show, and they all lived in a lighthouse, and then magical things would happen. So I don't know if I've been sorry, the car, subconsciously inspired by that. Did I watch Hereditary? No, but I've heard about it. The thing is, I love horror films, but my boyfriend hates them. So I like watching them with people. Watching them alone is a bit meh, although I have done that a lot in the past. But he was talking about it, and he was just saying like how scary it was, because I don't know why he had that like fascination with it, the film Hereditary, but then never wants to watch it. So I was like, let's watch it if you want to, and he's like, nope, no way. So I have to wait for like friends who like horror films as well, and then watch a load of different horror films with them, because I prefer it to watching them on my own. Because I really like, I think horror films are such an interactive experience a little bit, unless they're subtle. Because then you know, when you have jumps and stuff, you all laugh it off and you can talk about, oh, what's happening. I don't know, for me, I prefer it. Seeing how you've planned out this comic has really helped to motivate me to start my own story. That's awesome. Really love hearing that. That's such like the best compliment to ever hear for me, because that's why I liked watching YouTube, because people inspired me. So I'm hoping that this channel is inspiring other people. I've been really Lil Woodward says, I've been really trying to plan my comic, but I sometimes struggle on how to get from A to B. I know what you mean. And sometimes I think I used to do this thing where from A to B, I would make it really convoluted and add lots of things. And maybe you could look at your comic and see what you could take away, like edit down anything, because I think that really helps. And also get fresh eyes on it, because sometimes we get so into a project that we don't really see the mistakes that we're making. So if you show somebody else, they might be able to be nice but critical of it. Yeah, Dust, I'm a huge weenie. I can't watch horror films. No, that's fair. I can understand not liking horror films completely, because one of my friends was like, I don't want to go to watch a horror film and be scared. Like, why would I want that? That's not a nice experience. Like, I'm not going to go and do that. No, thank you. So, yeah, I can understand not liking them. I think I just like the adrenaline, and the kind of sick fascination we have with these horror films. I think, it leaves room for it also leaves room for the characters to be really vulnerable within the story that normal stories don't really have. So it has that edge of excitement, like will they survive, or what will happen to them? I think it has a depth in that sense. Dina, average, my eyes are fresh. Fresh eyes. Oh, I'm your fresh eyes. Lol, I totally read that wrong. Your eyes are fresh though as well, do you know? I was your fresh eyes, so yeah. And I hopefully helped. Well, you said it helped, so it did. Paranormal and Magical, Australian TV show. It was a weird one. Oh, Round the Twist. One episode, the eldest son did a wee on the tree and it ended up pregnant. No way. Did that really happen? That's hilarious. That is a really weird show. Issa, I'm slowly illustrating a small story. I have 22 pages of writing that I need to break down into pieces, and along the way, change a lot of the writing. Yes, very hard. Good luck with that. The writing is sometimes the most difficult part because well, I don't know. It depends because it depends what you're into really, but it's all about working stuff out. And sometimes you can't visualize it unless you draw like a character and then you can visualize it and things like that. It depends on your process. Hi, Navi. Sorry, I'm butchering your name. You love my sketching and design process. Thank you. I remember there was an episode around the twist with a creepy doll that came to life. Really? Do you guys remember Are You Afraid of the Dark? I used to love watching that as a kid. It was just it was kind of like a rip-off Goosebumps thing where they would do horror stories for like teenagers and kids. And it was on Nickelodeon, I think. And I used to love watching it, but I would also be terrified after watching it. And I remember there was one episode with like a clown doll, and it would come to life and just watch like the kid in the bedroom, and I was like, yeah, and I still have that like visual in my head. This nose looks weird. But I don't know why, I just like being scared. I watched it recently. Well, not recently, like when it came out in the cinema. And absolutely, like no film, for some reason it got me and it really scared me. And I was a mess for ages afterwards. And I don't know why, because I watched so many horror films, but that one just got me. I think I don't like clowns. It must be that. But I've never acknowledged my fear of clowns, and now I have a proper fear because of that film. And other people have been like, what? It's not that scary. And I can see why people wouldn't find it that scary, but I was traumatized. Lai says, exactly, I can't write it all, so coming up with a script is such a struggle, but drawing concepts for characters is so much easier for me. Ooh, yeah, that's tough. If you don't like writing, that can be really hard. But I think if you prefer the drawing side, then you should just keep doing the drawings, and then the characters they'll come out, they'll reveal who they are to you if you keep drawing them, and maybe you can think of different things that who they might be, and then in that sense you can come up, or not come up, but like write the story a bit easier. So that's my recommendation. If you guys don't like writing, then just draw more and then get to the writing. But if you're making comics, then I would suggest making a script, because it just makes everything so much easier to have the story down from the beginning. Jennifer says, I watched Are You Afraid of the Dark when I was a kid. Yeah, I loved that show. And they would have the society opening bit where they would all be around the camp, like the kids would all be around the campfire. And it was said that, it made it clear that they were going to tell each other scary stories. And I really liked that atmosphere. And it was quite clever as well, because in that sense it showed you as a teenager that it wasn't real, because they were telling the stories. So I think that was a clever way to present them to kids. I'm trying to write a short story based off my dream. I started writing the initial draft and I feel very intimidated how to proceed. I think everybody is different, but I think writing from A to B is very difficult, like straight writing it's called, because you're kind of walking down a dark corridor not expecting what you're going to see next. But for some people it's really helpful to have a beginning, middle and end, and I know we all learn that in like primary school, but having an ending and something to aim towards is really helpful, because anything that happens in between that and then is just fun. So if you have the beginning and the end, anything that you do is great. It's just exploring and fun. So that would make the writing process a little bit more enjoyable. Also, just write about things that you enjoy reading about is useful. So write the story that you want to read. So if you're enjoying writing it, then your readers will probably enjoy reading it. But if you don't enjoy writing and you think, oh, I'm bored of this, it's just hard work, then that's how maybe your work might be perceived as a reader. Yeah, I hope that's helpful, but it is pretty intimidating. I think you just have to find the joy in it. And that is always my advice, because whenever I'm writing, if I'm not enjoying writing, I take a stop and I have a look at what I'm writing and I'm like, is this going in the direction that I want it to go in? And I need to rejig things around. I need to think about things that excite me and genres that I enjoy and try to put that into my work. I hope that's helpful. Confused Swede. I love the history part of horror films. What do you mean, like the backstory kind of things? Ruth, the Babadook is my version of it. I love it, but it creeps me out so much. Oh yeah, the Babadook is a great film though. I watched that. I think that's one of those films that I didn't really find that scary, but I'm not going to spoil the ending, but I think the ending left me like, oh, okay. I think it was scarier throughout, but the ending of it, I was just like, ugh, nope, gross. Ew, he's just a horrible monster, ew. Even though I know it's so silly, it's so far removed from any reality, so I don't know why I find it scary, because usually when they reveal the monster, that's when I don't become scared. Like, I'm always more scared when it's more subtle. Also in the process of writing a comic, but I have trouble deciding how it will end without making it too cliche. You know, sometimes cliches can be good and sometimes they can be bad. But I think if you're stuck on something and the characters are all saying to end it a certain way to you, or your inspiration or the way that you've done it is saying end it like this, then you should follow that. And maybe you can add something to it to make it a little bit different. Issa, well, it took me about a week or two to write the story. I would always do a little bit of story during class, hit lol, because I always finish things fast. There's nothing to do. No, yeah, that's good. Working fast can be a good thing. I have a couple of friends who write. They're like a couple, and they write books once a month, and they release them They indie publish them on Amazon, and they make a career of that. And I think that's really impressive. But I don't think that's my I don't think I could do that because it's so hard and it's such a lot of work. And I think I work so slowly that I couldn't do that. So I'm always very impressed by them. They're a really good team. And they work super hard, and they're reaping the benefits of their hard work, which is good. Because I think people always deserve, especially when you kind of put yourself on the line a little bit. Who else? Last year I knitted 2 big scarves during class. Didn't anybody notice you knitting during class? Weren't you told off? I would have been told off. The story I'm making, Jennifer says, the story I'm making a comic. Oh, sorry, I'm completely reading that wrong. The story I'm making a comic of was based on a dream. I've most of it written out, and it was hard to match the character's pose to what I've written. Yeah, it's very hard. You just have to do a lot of thumbnails, I guess, and work everything out beforehand before going to do the final thing, and it makes everything much easier. I haven't seen A Quiet Place yet, and I'm dying to see it. And I feel like that might be a film Chris will be willing to give a go, because he's spoken about it, and I was like, please, can we watch it? And he's like, no. So maybe I can persuade him. I really, really want to watch that though. It looks so good. And I've heard great things, and it's Jim from The Office. I think the hardest thing I'm finding with comics is script is usually mostly dialogue, and I'm too into trying to describe something even though you can see it in the comic. I think that's where editing comes in. You've got to be really brutal with your work sometimes. I read Stephen King's book called On Writing, which is really helpful. It's not necessarily helpful within comics, but I think as a general writing tool, it's helpful. And he says this quote, which is "kill your darlings," which basically means just do it, like edits things out, even if you like them. Like, even if there's a big chunk of the story that you really like, but it doesn't work within the story, then just cut it out. It doesn't matter. You have to be really brutal with yourself and just rip pages up that you've drawn that you don't like, throw them away, stuff like that. You have to be very hard on yourself, and that might help you a bit with the describing something, because you know that you will see it in the comics, so you don't need to describe it necessarily, but you know that, so I don't know why I'm repeating myself. Oh yes, the backstory, when they mix in actual historical stuff that has happened. That's what Confused Swede likes in their horror story. Yeah, I completely agree. I think that's good. One time my teacher walked in on me cussing. Uh-oh. Bet that didn't work out so well for you, did it? It would have been game over for me if that happened. Although when I was a kid, I like never swore. I don't know why. I thought it was so bad. I was like, no, never gonna swear. And I remember once, like, must have been about 17, and I said the B word, bitch, in front of my sister, and my sister was like, oh my god, well, she's older than me, she was like, ha ha, Steph swore, and she like ran down the stairs to tell my mum, and I was like, no, even though I was 17, you know, I think I was past the age of swearing. Dina says, oh, it's so good, A Quiet Place. I don't like scary films, but I compared it to Alien. Ooh, oh, I really need to see that. Maybe I can play that off then to Chris. Like, it's more of a thriller than a scary film. Like, it's more like Alien, because he likes Alien, so I think monster films are probably more okay with him. I think he just doesn't like ghosty stuff, which is fair, because I think, like, a lot of people have different things they don't like for whatever reasons. Sine, hello, I just wanted to say I love watching your videos while I draw. Your channel has been one of my favourites and I always get excited when you upload. Oh, thank you so much. So nice of you. Oh, everyone's so nice. So lucky to have you guys around. Issa, everyone knew I was knitting. I even did it during recess, but I was a good student so the teacher didn't mind. I mean, yeah, that's fair enough if you can get away with it. I think as well, like when I was in class, I think it would be really beneficial for me to do something creative as I was listening to the teacher or whatever. Like if I could doodle, I think it really helped me remember facts, because I think I'm more of a visual learner. So like if I drew something and I'm trying to remember a fact, I'm like, oh, remember the drawing, and then I remember the fact. Kind of helped. Oh, random person. No, he literally just stopped and stared at me, talking about the teacher that came in and heard you swearing. Yeah, I think as well, like teachers, it must be tough to be a teacher because you have to kind of call it whether you should be harsh on your student or not. Then it's just like, oh, it's just, you know, everyone swears really, eventually. I don't think swearing makes you a bad person really at all. Actually, I heard online that, I've read a few times that it makes you, it doesn't make you, but it means you're an honest person, or you're more on, genuinely people who swear are more honest, something like that. And I think that's quite funny. But I can see like why, because you're just more open to swear, maybe you're more open to tell the truth. I don't know. This seems a bit silly now thinking about it, but I've read it online. It must be true. That same teacher didn't even let me read a book. She is the Portuguese teacher, and she didn't let me read a book. Her existence there consists in making kids want to read. That's weird. She wants people to read, but she didn't want you to read. Ruth Young says, my lecturer used to let us draw during his talks because he said it would help us focus and take information better. Wow, that's a good lecturer. I wish he was my lecturer, because that's true. For sure, for me anyway. We were discussing this book recently called Sapiens, I think it's called, and it's about like humans and psychological things, because my friend said that she read it and we were talking about, she said that gossip helps us learn actually, and that's how we've developed as like a society based organizer. Don't know, because we learn from gossip, and it's actually healthy for us to gossip. And I realized, because we were talking about Philippa Gregory's books, who is a historical novelist, but basically she writes about King Henry VIII and his wives and stuff like that. But she does it in a sense, it's sort of like a romance kind of book, but they're really good. And we were both like, now we know so much about King Henry VIII and all this historical facts that we would never know, we never knew through school. So we learned that because we learned it through the books, because it was like gossip, and we were both like, oh, we're just normal people who like learn from gossip. Doodling definitely can do that. It's sad that they only just learning about it. Yeah, that's true. Because I always felt like, yeah, I would learn better if I could just sit and draw. And obviously, because as an artist, I guess most of us are visual learners. I'm not sure if that's a fact, but I read that the reason why we are only just learning about visual stimulation is good for learning is because in old Christian schools, pictures weren't allowed. Oh, that old chestnut, eh? It's typical. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're all learning slowly better and better methods of schooling and things, because the school system now is kind of dated anyway, isn't it? It's a bit, not everybody learns the same way, and in that sense people feel like they're dumb because they can't keep up. Like maybe they're not technically book smarts is the way to say it, but they're smart in other ways, and that can be really helpful for when you're older. And as well, like I think a lot of times there's so much stress on people in school, and it's just too much for like a young brain. I don't know. We could go into it, we could talk about it for hours. I could anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling about this now. I'm going to change the world, guys. No, you're not. Shush. Sit down, Steph. Hey, Louisa. Carl Holtz Creations. In the house. Don't know what that was. I apologise. Ruth says, yeah, it was refreshing and helped everyone feel relaxed. Yeah, I think that's really good. You don't have to be under the iron thumb so much. Dina, my teachers just let me doodle in class because they never managed to make me stop. Yep, makes sense. I would always fidget and lose interest and just watch and listen, and I will zone out completely. That's nice. I think that would be really nice to have teachers like that. Well, not, I guess it was more your attitude being like, nope, not stopping. Hi, tiny dog. Yeet. Hamster bun. Yeet. Is that like isn't that a Canadian thing, the yeet thing? Yeah, so that's the next page. Oh, maybe I should show you guys actually this thing again, because maybe some of you joined a bit late, or later than everyone else. Yeah, so I've printed out, I've taken the roughs that I was working on from here, scanned them in, blew them up, printed them out so I can go over the top with tracing paper and do rough pencils. So here is, like, this is how the book will be, basically. But smaller, because I don't want to do A4. I'm going to do maybe a little bit bigger than A5. Do I mean A5? Yes. So it'll probably be about this thick, which is a decent size, I think, for a short story. Yeah, and now I'm just working on tracing over some of the panels, like fixing some of the pencils as much as I can to do rough pencils, and then I'm going to cut each bit out and do some work with them, because the style that I'm doing is going to be the mix of Copic markers and pencils, and yeah, I'm just going to do sort of a mixed media kind of look, really, to be honest, which I think will be really fun because it gives me a chance to use a different style that I haven't used before and experiment and stuff. Dina, I didn't get to doodle. I would zone out and not listen. Ooh. Oh. Oh, if I didn't get to doodle. Yeah, I read that wrong. Yeah, same here. They should just let people doodle, right? Yadus says, I am so glad I'm not in school anymore. Yes, same. So same. So many things that I was just not interested in learning about. I remember I liked science. I hated maths. Maths was the worst. I hate maths. I have a calculator. I'm fine. You know, I like, some people really like maths. That's fair enough. I hate it. I liked art. I liked drama. I liked science. Just no to maths. Collarholt says, I must say I love your desk. Whenever I see your videos with clean desks, I'm like 50% impressed, 50% thinking it's a lie. Yep. I have to clean up though, because sometimes I'm like, yeah, this is too messy. And then I'm like, everyone's going to see my desk. But yes, I am a very messy person, so that's correct. Collarholt's Creations is one of the channels that I was saying to check out, guys, before. If you just click the 3 dots next to her name and then see channel, then you can see her stuff. And she's really fun, and I love her videos. Yay! Issa says, I'm the kind of student who can do whatever they want because I do everything they ask me to do so they don't bother me. Oh, you sound like the student that I was not. Yesterday I was listening to music on my phone while making some stuff and she just didn't say anything. Nice. Very lucky. Well, I guess you work hard, so I guess you've earned it. Fine, fine. Color hole. I usually just shove stuff out of the frame. Yeah, I usually do that as well. But we're being real here, so this is me, guys. I'm a mess. My life is a mess. My desk is a mess. No, I'm joking. Ooh, he's so creepy. This guy's so creepy. Ooh, he's so creepy. I really liked streaming with you guys this morning. It's really been quite nice. I used to be quite nervous about streaming, but this one's been really fun. I guess I'm not showing my face, so that helps a lot. So maybe I just never show my face. Just my forehead every now and again, popping into the frame. Ooh, Colorholt, you got that studio tour? Yes. Her studio tour is really cool as well, really interesting, relaxing as well. I do think you have a really relaxing manner, Luvisa. It's very nice. Very nice indeed. I never understood where the camera is when you guys do this angle. Yeah. I'm also just looking at my camera now and being like, how am I doing this angle? Kind of made my mind be blown a little bit because I've got you can obviously see the tripod here, but for this live stream I'm using my phone. Usually I use my camera, but because I'm live streaming I can't use that. I had to use my phone, so I've got it like plugged in next to me and just hanging over, and I've used sellotape and stuff to keep it in place because I'm a professional. Oh, some people shouting outside now. Can you hear them? Is either somebody shouting or they're just speaking very, very loudly? Chio, what is your secret? Do you have a drone above your head? I wish. Like, that sounds like it would be a breeze, just get on with it, but no. You kind of have to figure. It took me a long time to figure it out, the way to do it. But I bought. Actually, I'll just show you guys. Get ready to be moved. It's probably going to be buzzy. So I've got this like sellotaped. I've got this mini canvas easel thing that I found that could like make it rest quite nicely. And then I've got this rig, which is what I use for my camera, which is like this tiny rig that I've attached to this tripod so I can put it over my work. Yeah, so it's a bit of a workout. You have to work it out, but it took me a long time to realize I could film from this point downwards. So the camera would be over here facing down, and then I could just flip the footage and it would look fine. It took me a long time, too long, to realize that that would be good. But yeah, it's fine now. I've worked it out now, guys. I did not see the tripod. Yeah, it's been there the whole time. Mind blown. I'm gonna buy a parrot and train it to be my cameraman. I wish. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't having a cameraman just be good as well? Just be like, can you set this up for me? Because I feel like my knowledge and cameras and stuff is just so bad. But I'm learning, so that's good, right? Learning is always a good thing. Oh, he looks really small now. I'm gonna rub him out and do him again. Because, as I was saying before, I draw men sort of the same, similar height to women. And I realised I don't want to do that. I want to make him quite large and an imposing figure, because it would make more sense. That was fascinating, wasn't it? Not really. It's quite funny, my little ratchet setup there. Can you hear the people shout? When Steph was trying to steer him. Yep. They've gone now. I think they were just having, like, they're walking, because this is, outside is a really quiet road to, like, a beach. So there's rarely cars, but then sometimes I just get walkers, and I think that walker was just having an argument with somebody, just, you know, outside my house, deciding to. Confused Swede. I've always been taught to keep my story ideas to myself. I was no one will publish or support them. Do you agree? I really like to share stuff, but I'm a little scared. I think this is, yeah, I think it's dangerous ground. It depends. It depends on what you want to do. Like, if you want to traditionally publish something, then it's better to keep something close to your chest. You can obviously share it with beta readers or people that you trust who aren't your family, who will give you good criticism. But then, apart from that, then I wouldn't share it too much. You can obviously do snippets and get maybe excitement for it, but I guess if your aim is to get a publisher, then you need... So if we're talking traditionally published things, if you're an illustrator, you need an illustrator agent who will send your work to different publishing houses who will then hire you maybe or not hire you. And if you have a novel written, you can send your... You send like an idea and a synopsis to agents, writing agents about your story, and then they may choose to take that on board, and then they will approach publishers for you that think that might be interested in your type of story. So if you were doing that traditional route, I would suggest keeping the story a bit close to your chest, yes. But if you want to publish it, indie publish it, then you should spread the word, because you're going to be your own what do I mean, PR, that's what I mean. So you would need to get that hype up, and you would be the person who's marketing your work. So obviously if you can get some excitement built up about it beforehand, then that's good. It obviously depends what route you want to take. And I honestly think that publishers might not mind you showing a little snippets of your work here and there if you want to still traditionally publish, but obviously don't go too far and be like, this is the whole story, you know what I mean? I'll buy you food. Enjoy the gym if you're not back later. Perhaps the guy with the goat, yes. I like indie music. I like chilled music. And I would be playing some music now, but I didn't really figure, because this was a bit of ooh, what am I trying to say? A stream out of nowhere. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it because I'm scared to do it. Sometimes you just have to dive in, right? And go for it. So I didn't figure out how to set up music and then also be able to see comments, because apparently I can't put myself on mute on YouTube for some reason on the iPad. I think I'll probably figure it out later when I'm not under pressure, but still. This guy's arm is going to be like this, I think. But yeah, it would have been nice to have some music as well. Bye, Tiny Dog. Thanks for stopping by. Dina, I had the same thing. Then I just decided to just share it and publish it myself, which is fair enough. Like, it depends what route you want to go, because I know when you hand over something to a publisher, you probably get less control over it, and different things happen and they'll edit it for you and stuff, but then they will also do all the marketing for you. It kind of depends on what we're talking, like top dog publishing houses here, not smaller publishing houses. Smaller publishing houses, you probably have to help with the marketing of stuff. You wouldn't have such a big budget behind you. So it depends. Hey, Pixie, welcome. Confused Swede, thank you. I want to illustrate children's books and a bigger story I've been working on. That's the thing as well that I've heard about big publishers, is that they don't like, unless you're amazing, like a demigod at illustration and writing, they like pairing an author and an illustrator. They don't really like somebody who does the same thing at the same time. It depends on the publishing house, though. Obviously, there's obviously going to be some people who like that, but that's what I heard anyway. Because years ago, I went to this course from Random House, the people who published Harry Potter, and it was all about finding a agent, and there was a couple there who had written and drawn their own book, like children's book, and they were advised that it would be rare for them to get picked up, because usually people in the publishing houses like to pick the in-house illustrators for stuff. And yeah, like, I think that's interesting to know. But I don't know if they were just saying that to this couple to be kind to them, because maybe they didn't see it happening for them. But that was a talk from like a few agents, which was really handy for me at the time, because if you don't know, I published a self-published novel, which is a young adult fantasy book, and for years I kind of sat on it and I was like, oh, I want to traditionally publish this, I want to send this to publish. So I really researched all this stuff quite heavily, and then I have these friends who indie publish all their books, so I thought, I just want to publish this because it's been a project that I've been working on for so long. I just kind of want to let it go, otherwise it will be one of those things that is just always, I will always have, you know. So, and I would have had control over it and things, and I just wanted to do it. And I think as well, like, I want to write more books. It's not just like, oh, here's this one project I want to do. Like, I want to do more writing, so maybe in the future I'll approach a publisher. But yeah, that's my whole little rant there. Random person says, do you ever hit your head on your phone? No, it's quite high up, and I've never done a live stream like this, so maybe in the future I'll hit my head. Never know. One can dream. Random person, she says, I mean, there are a lot of short men, in reference to this making him taller. Yeah, there are. And I have used that, I've said that in the past, but I think I want to have a bit of a dynamic difference between them, seeing as they are kind of the only two characters that show up in the book. I want to have different visual interest on both of them, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Pixie, I've had a friend get a book published with a big publisher, not one of the giants, but definitely big, and they didn't spend much on the marketing for her book compared to others. So there's also that. Oh yeah, that's true. Like, it all depends as well, I guess, how much the publisher want to put into you, like back you up and stuff. I guess you don't really have much sway or say over that. Dina. But I think if you create your own book and self-publish, you can use that work as a portfolio and show that you have the ability to do it. Yeah, definitely. I think any work that you can create, big project or small project, is always going to be a bonus for you. It's always going to be something you can add to your portfolio. Then they commission you for their own stories and books. Yeah, 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 Dina, you can do it. I see you. I see you doing it. Doing whatever your heart desires. I think you can make that happen. Color Hole, or the horror comic contains a virus which makes men all shrink. Yes, or my drawing style is a virus that makes men shrink. More like, lol. I think it's always been a massive dream of mine to be able to be published by a big publishing house. I think when I was like a teenager, I started writing, and I thought, yeah, one day I'm going to be published by Random House or somebody, and it's going to be amazing. And it's just like, no, it's a little bit, when I was young, I had all these dreams, and I was like, yes, it's going to happen. And now I'm like, maybe. That's not the way, though, is it, guys? You got to still hold on to your dreams. Still make it happen, maybe one day. Just need to get better at everything, I think. I would have loved to have studied writing or something within uni. Would have been fun, but I chose animation. And now I'm like, why did I do that? I think because it was, the idea of being able to draw and write was great to have. I thought like that was going to be my dream. And then I realized it was really, really hard to, and I wasn't so into it as I thought. And then I realized comics are more my thing, more my style. Pixie says, I really want to self-publish my own poetry book, to be honest. Just have it out there to be read by like my mum and two friends maybe. Self-publishing seems less hassle to me if you're not aiming for fame. Well, I honestly think that probably 98.9% of authors who even get traditionally published are not going to be famous. I think it's such like a difficult thing to do, and there are so many authors out there. So I think like self-publishing has always been kind of this, not frowned upon, but there's a stigma to it, but it shouldn't need to be that. It's just because some people don't want to go that route, and I think it's fine. It doesn't mean like your books are bad or anything. It just means that's what you've decided to do, and you can instantly share stuff and sell stuff for yourself and make a business out of your own work, which I think is really cool. And it gives you the control over yourself and your own work, which, yeah, like I said, that is the bonus of doing that. Obviously, it's hard work because you're doing everything by yourself, but there's benefits to it. And if you enjoy the work and you just keep publishing stuff, then that's the way to go, right? You just got to do what you love. Follow your heart, guys. Because eventually it will pay off, especially if you work hard enough. Lee says, I'm always scared to sell my own work because I end up doubting if it's good enough. I mean, like, I sell my stuff and it doesn't do very well. But that doesn't matter, because as long as you've completed a project and put it out there, then that's always a benefit. And even if it doesn't sell very well, there's, you always have that option to say to people like, look, I've got this if you fancy taking a look at my work. And it's always nice to have something behind you. You should just go for it. Put yourself out there. You guys have probably heard of Bobby Chew, but I remember some advice that he used to say all the time is, if you're consistently putting yourself out there, then that's great, because people will recognize your work, remember your work, and get to know you, because, ooh, my pencil just broke. Because they're constantly seeing your work, and even if you think it's not good enough, when will it be good enough? You know what I mean? You can always be that perfectionist, telling yourself, no, this isn't good, but I think everybody has those insecurities, and there's always going to be people who are better than you, and there's always going to be people who are worse than you. So you should just do you and think, if it's good enough within yourself, then you should go for it. It's definitely the way to be. Just go for it. It can be scary. I was absolutely terrified self-publishing my book. I've never been like that with anything before. Any artwork, I'm always like, yeah, that's it. Any graphic design, I'm like, yeah, that's my graphic design. But with writing, I was so terrified, and then I just did it, and now it's just up there in the Amazon sphere, and it's fine. Like, it hasn't done very well. I didn't expect it to be blooming next Harry Potter or anything, obviously, but it's something that I've done, and I'm proud of myself for doing it, and especially just getting on with it, even though I know that it's terrifying. It was always something I never really thought I could do, so it was a big step forward for me. So you can do it. Gio says, this is why I believe you should do it for yourself, not for others. Having others read your stuff is a bonus. Yes, definitely. That's totally what I do all the time with any of my work. Because you can't expect people to fall head over heels for all your stuff. Your work will always be more important to you than anybody else. Unless it's like Harry Potter or something, because then that's important to a lot of people, but you know what I mean. And you can hope. There's nothing wrong with hope, but yeah. This truck is a little bit dodgy, so I might have to redraw this. Bye, Mingjaza. Sorry. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, the worst that can happen is just people won't buy your work. That's fine though, because it's just happened. It's happened to me, but it's fine. It doesn't change anything. You still accomplished that amount of work. You can still say like, oh, hey, I've written a book, or hey, I've done this comic, I've drawn this image. That's still really impressive, I think. Yeah. This falls. We're all on the same, we're all in the same boat here with having fear of sharing things. I'm pretty scared. I was pretty scared doing the stream, to be honest, because, I don't know, just talking live. It's scary, but it's been really nice, and you guys have been really nice, so there you go. I see you guys talking about a poetry scene. That would be cool. Very impressive. I'm impressed with people that stream. My entire brain would go error 404, brain not found. Yep, that was pretty much me for like the first 10 minutes of this stream. I remember my previous stream, the first one that I did, I didn't like it because I just felt like I was just panicking and everything was going wrong, and it was just, ugh, I didn't like it. I felt like, oh, I'm never going to stream again because I didn't like that. But I don't mind talking on other people's streams because I feel like the pressure goes off and you can just have a chat with someone. If you kind of forget that there's people watching you, it's good. I'm just pretending that I'm talking to like a friend on the phone, which is helpful. I'm probably going to stop in a bit and go grab some lunch. I don't know how long I've been streaming for, but yeah. And then I'll update you guys on Wednesday how this went from this to whatever I create afterwards. So I've done pretty much, how many pages have I done? 1, 2, done like 4 pages of rough pencils now. Thanks, Gio. Yeah, it was scary. But it's now really nice. So I'm probably going to do this more often, like morning streams, I mean. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go probably now, guys. But thank you so much for dropping by and chatting with me. It's been really nice. I might do this again next Friday morning, see how I feel. If you don't want to miss, if you missed this or caught it late, then maybe click the bell and you get a notification when I'm streaming. And yeah, that might be good to know. I'll see how this one went time-wise for people in the US. Maybe I can do it a bit later for some people, but let me know in the comments if you watched this after I streamed, if you missed it, and if this time is good for you or not. But thank you so much for everybody dropping by, and I'm going to stop. But thank you. Bye, bye, bye. I'm going to take this phone down. Bye.